Alright, it's another one of those days where the weather outside is really awful. It's howling a gale, and hopefully it's not going to spoil the recording too much. Unfortunately, there's not much I can do about it anyway. I don't exactly have a professional recording setup, as I'm sure you can probably tell. But yeah, today I wasn't actually going to upload this video. It was going to be something else. But I ended up watching Rev's Rate My Gameplay from earlier, which I will link in the description. Highly recommend watching that because it's from Andy Nomus and he never disappoints on Rate My Gameplay. But I decided that I would upload this because it's got a lot in common with that run. And it uses two of the same units in seagull and blobfish. But we've also got this unit on the team here, which you've maybe never seen it before, and that is the flying fish. Coupled with Love Potion, definitely a highly original combo that has not been seen on YouTube many times in the last couple of weeks. But yeah, as I mentioned in one of the other videos, I'm just having so much fun with this particular combo that I ended up recording a bunch of different variations of it. And it does feel like there's almost no limit to the different creative teams you can build with this. Yeah, although the new update is out and there's lots of new stuff I really want to try, I thought it was more important to actually get through some of these runs that were recorded prior to the update, but still have, I think, a lot to offer from an entertainment point of view. So, much like the other runs, we're setting up with the flying fish. We've got the Love Potion already on the skeleton dog, which is an incredibly good way of scaling your flying fish while simultaneously utilizing its ability. It always feels better if you're actually scaling using some kind of synergy rather than just having scalers in the team. I mean, pay no attention to the level 2 puppy, which is definitely producing some scaling as well. But here we get both Team Spirit and the blobfish, which we need both of them. I can't remember which one I take here. I think is it going to be Team Spirit first? I guess it makes sense because the skeleton dog can start scaling it, and then we'll also get the trigger from the Love Potion. Although these days Team Spirit is nowhere near as strong as it was, of course. It doesn't give additional health now, it's just +1/1. So a lot of these teams that involve going for loads of level ups, whereas previously they were ultra strong, now they feel like they're a bit more sensible. And so we probably do need to get the Team Spirit to level 2 pretty quickly. So I freeze okay, maybe I'm not going to freeze it here. Maybe I'm just going to buy the blobfish. Yeah, we buy the blobfish and we give it Love Potion. Now you can actually set this team up without using Love Potion, but I think at this stage I was just so into trying to find new combos with Flying Fish Love Potion that maybe I didn't consider that there were other simpler options for this particular team. But you can see how it works. We get the level up from the Love Potion plus Flying Fish, and then the blobfish is going to reset the triggers on the Flying Fish. That's why we have kept it at level 1.5 all the way to turn 11. Normally you just level up and make sure that you're getting more experience on the blobfish when it spawns from the Love Potion. But we don't actually want that to happen. We want the flying fish to keep leveling up and triggering Team Spirit again, but also resetting its trigger count so that it can level up something afterwards. It's a little bit convoluted, but you'll see how it works as soon as we get the seagull into the team. Essentially, we want the blobfish at the front, which is being summoned by the Love Potion, to be given a perk, which is then going to create another summon, and so on and so forth. And the seagull is going to be able to keep refreshing the perk on the summoned unit. And you can do that a few ways. You can use a mushroom, but I wanted to use popcorn. And I've mentioned this in the past. I think popcorn is just much more interesting than mushroom because the units that come out of the popcorn can vary so wildly, and you can actually just pick them in a custom pack. So we've set this pack up in such a way that there are lots of useful spawns that could come out of the blobfish. And I think in some respects, blobfish being moved up to tier 5 actually helps this build quite a bit, because a lot of the powerful units that can come out of the popcorn are tier 5, like we get Nyala here, which results in a 16-16 summon, and that's actually winning despite the fact that the popcorn was overwritten by the bat. So yeah, the other change with blobfish is that it gives experience to 2 pets. So by playing the seagull behind the flying fish here, we can actually potentially reset the triggers on the seagull as well and get a ton more additional summons from the popcorn. So look at this team here. This looks like an auto-loss triple sauropod. They only have level 1 Bird of Paradise, which maybe saves us here. But we end up winning, even though we haven't quite optimized our team yet. I think what I need is, I need one more chocolate on the seagull. And maybe I'm going to rewatch it. Is that what I'm doing here? Just checking exactly what happened. I think, yeah, the blobfish in second position is going to become a level 2. So it's going to give 2 experience to the seagull. So if we had 1 extra chocolate on the seagull, we would get another round of summons from it, potentially. I guess it also depends on what we get from the blobfish, because you can get something like Eagle, which is going to consume a trigger on the popcorn as well. And there I almost made the classic mistake of buying the mammoth when I've got Seagull. I don't want to lose any triggers on the popcorn. So we managed to avoid that particular banana skin. Here's a strong looking level 2 Spino team. They've also got level 2 Snake. We get Raccoon from the summon, and it steals the melon from the reindeer, which is extremely satisfying to see. And actually this summon skunk from the seagull is going to break the melon on the Spino. So we might as well buy this chocolate here. Actually, I think here I make a mistake. I should buy the chocolate onto the Team Spirit. The days of only needing level 2 Team Spirit, I think, are over. For some reason, though, I end up just rolling past the chocolate and it gives me another one. And so now I get to rectify the mistake. So yeah, don't know what was going on there. And again, we almost do a buy-sell, which would waste one of the seagull triggers. Unfortunately, Cornucopia doesn't give us anything useful. All our perks are set, except for the flying fish, which I actually would like to switch to something else, but we're going to have to wait a little while for that to happen. Level 3 skunk reduces the flying fish down to 1 HP, and you can see there we ended up getting Scorpion, but it actually replaced the perk on the Scorpion, so we didn't instant kill anything. And I think here, unfortunately, this 4 squad is actually going to be too strong for us. I'm not sure if that would have been a different outcome if we'd had different spawns from the popcorn, but yeah, kind of funny to see 2 4 squads facing off at turn 15, and neither of them are buy-sell teams. So we'll take the stat food. Yeah, just want to get more survivability. I think the seagull really needs more health to try and make sure it doesn't get sniped. And then this is a perfect opponent with 2 big units. And we're hoping that our endless summons, as you can see we do waste one there with the eagle, is going to cut through this team. And I think we were 1 HP there away from knocking out the hippo there because of the garlic. But we still win anyway. And then into the shop and we get the final piece of the puzzle, which is the onion on the flying fish. And the flying fish actually has triggers left over at the end. So we can make it move to the back, and then the popcorn on the seagull will come into play, and we can potentially get another summon that the flying fish can then level up. Now granted, the seagull is a tier 4, so we're not going to get any of the really powerful stuff like Nyala or Scorpion and so on. But we can get pretty decent summons. Actually, maybe at this stage I hadn't reworked the pack to have the best possible spawns from the seagull on tier 4. Unfortunately there, Cornucopia gives us nothing but perks, so we have to pass it up. Now we're on lethal as well. That was quite a strong team on the previous turn. This looks extremely strong with 4 melons on this squad. Although they do have a level 3 jackalope for some reason. It's actually a very strange looking team with kind of a weird mixture of units. And we get the stonefish, which doesn't quite knock out the frostwolf. And unfortunately, the popcorn gets removed by the cold. But the doggo comes in and is actually going to knock out the mantis shrimp. And then the attack on the flying fish is high enough to instant kill the Sleipnir through melon. So yeah, I think he would have been forgiven for thinking that we were going to automatically lose against that team. But our 4 squad ended up winning. So turn 19, and unfortunately we faced your generic leopard lionfish team. Actually, at the time when I saw this, I thought this looked very, very suspicious because they have 3 huge tier 6s and a level 3 T-Rex. And actually, when I spectated their run, they had silver fox and turned it into the leopard. But I think at turn 19, we'd been pretty lucky not to have already faced a meta build. And so, yeah, I wasn't too mad about losing that one. I think that was actually the first or second attempt. And so I felt like it was inevitable that I was going to win if I just kept at it. So here we go with some bonus clips. There were loads of crazy rounds from this particular build. And here's one where after finding the mushroom from Cornucopia, it immediately matches me with tiger iguana. And that might be the first time I've ever faced tiger iguana in customs. And sometimes the timing on these things is just impeccable. Next one, we end up facing this like almost insurmountable looking opposing team here. We do actually have the toy for the stat reduction on the peacock in the middle. And yeah, it looks like we would just instantly lose with, we'd have no chance against this squad. But as you can see, it's actually very, very close. And I don't think if we'd had level 3 team spirit, I think we maybe, would we have tied there? I think we would have, because the flying fish would have had enough attack to knock out the shark. But yeah, it wasn't to be in that particular one. And then here's one showing just like how strong this can be even when you get disrupted. So we're not going to win this round, but I mean, look how close this is. We're facing Bat plus Octo, which is almost like the hardest counter to this team. And we barely lose. I think if we had one more summon there, it might have been a different story. And then this is really the perfect type of opponent that you want to see, where it's mostly scaling. They don't have any powerful in-battle abilities. And then we get the stonefish from the popcorn, instantly knocks out the eel. And it's an easy cleanup for the seagull. I think actually this is the same battle, this next one, the same run. We faced this turkey team with mushroom on absolutely everything. And, clearly turkey plus loads of mushrooms is going to be more optimal than what we're running. But again, this combo can be deceptively powerful as long as you don't get disrupted. And that's something that this opposing team doesn't have. We get the reset. The seagull moves to the front with the popcorn, and we actually have popcorn on the team spirit in this particular one as well. And then they end up giving us a bunch of units with Kappa, which we level up with the flying fish. So we end up getting the level 3 anteater, which gives us a bunch more additional stats. The seagull's going to knock out this chicken. They get a tapir and then lionfish from the eagle. And I think by this stage, the flying fish has run out of triggers. And yeah, you can see what's going to happen. It's going to be a tie. So pretty unlikely draw there, I think, from what looked like certain defeat. Now this is definitely going to be certain defeat. I thought this was funny though. We ended up facing opposing flying fish. And like I mentioned in the other video, a lot of people are running flying fish with love potion itself. So then you get additional, you're basically shortcutting needing to level up the flying fish itself at all. And then this is an incredible sequence of rounds that I had. This was a game that was destined to fail. Here we are again on turn 12 for trophies. Pretty common scenario. But we face another sauropod plus Bird of Paradise team, and we narrowly beat them. And then next round, we face one of these bicell teams that you see all the time, Manta, Owl, Sea Anemone. I really struggle to pronounce anemone. It doesn't matter how many times it comes up in videos, I don't seem to get any better at it. It ends up being a win there, maybe a little bit of a surprise, I think. And then look at this on the next turn. This is actually a blink and you'll miss it moment, because they end up using eggplant, moving the blobfish with love potion, and then removing the love potion with the baguette, which is terrible compared to just deleting the popcorn. And so actually I think the eggplant here wins me this round. If we didn't have the popcorn, we would never have got the loop going, and the whole setup would have been broken. So super satisfying to beat that team, but when you add such a rare occurrence on top, it's just the icing on the cake.